SeaWatch captain Carola Rackete is taking Matteo Salvini to court over a libel case. Her lawyer, Alessandro Gambarini, has written in the filings that, in the words of Matteo Salvini, there are precipice-deep feelings of hate, libel, delegitimization, and physical dehumanization. First of all, feelings are not illegal as far as I know, and then more obvious, it is intellectually horrendous how this is phrased. The only feeling they are enumerating is hate, and then they say libel or defamation, whatever, is a feeling, and the allegation is not substantiated. She does not even say where Mr. Salvini had said something about her that is actually untrue. Something that she would have to prove in a real court in a democratic country like any English-speaking country that I'm aware of. I'm not sure how Italy works, so I cannot speak to that. But a defamation cause usually has as a basis a statement that must be proven false. And I do not see that Mr. Salvini had said anything about Mrs. Rackete, that is untrue. Then she is alleging him delegitimizing her. For Christ's sake, she has broken the law. There is video evidence. I can't find it right now. Mysteriously enough, Google is hiding it. But there is actually video footage of her ramming the ship of the Guardia di Finanza, the border control, and she is admitting it. She is admitting the entrance into the harbor against the orders of the courts and without permission, and she is admitting that she rammed that ship. So, if you are a hit and run driver and you are breaking the law knowingly, then you are not legitimate. So there is no way to delegitimize you after that. The last one is the most ridiculous one, feeling of a physical dehumanization. I don't even know what that means. Mr. Salvini reacted on Twitter saying that la comunista tedesca, quella che ha speranato la motovedetta della Guardia di Finanza, ha chiesto alla procura di chiudere le mie pagine Facebook e Twitter, non c'è limite al ridicolo. Quindi posso usare solo Instagram, which means the German communists, which had rammed the ship of the Guardia di Finanza, had asked the prosecutor to shut down the pages of his pages on Facebook and Twitter. There is no limit to ridiculousness. Shall he only use Instagram now? That's what he wrote in reaction to that court case. I think the only case that she has is that she probably has now described herself as a communist. Usually communists don't do that, and I will refrain to say that he is right about that categorization. But otherwise, he's perfectly right in saying what he does. Called her a communist in the past, he says she is a rich, spoiled German communist, a lawless and criminal, and he says she was probably up to killing those people on the ship of the Guardia di Finanza that she ran. So that is, of course, hard to prove or to disprove, but the fact is she ran that ship, and she could have hurt somebody in doing so. In a legal filing, Ms. Rackete alleges that Mr. Salvini is spreading a message of hate. Again, hate is not a crime. We are not yet in a Big Brother totalitarian regime where thoughts and feelings are crimes themselves. What is a crime is ramming ships, entering harbors without permission, crossing borders without permission, and so on, helping human traffickers. That's all against the law. What is not against the law is spreading hate. That's within the law. And for good reasons. That's actually the core of the Human Rights Declaration. The Human Rights Declaration, or more precisely, the Bill of Rights, and from that evolving the Human Rights Declaration, evolved from standing up against the King of England and the King of France, trying to smother the speech of ordinary citizens. So, for a good reason, spreading hate, which is your feeling when you criticize somebody, is the very core of the Human Rights Declaration. Yes, the King of France did not have his head chopped off for gay marriage and not for abortion. It was actually about speaking. In the legal filing, her lawyer says that Salvini's utterings were far from legitimate criticism. Now he is delegitimizing, isn't he? Power elites are not the arbiters of what is a legitimate uttering and what is not. And to crown it all, Paris had granted the Médaille Grande Vermeille de la Ville de Paris to Rackete and a colleague of hers because they are protecting human rights. I really wonder if anybody in Paris had read the Human Rights Declaration. The term human rights, or more precisely human and civil rights, was first coined in Paris by the revolutionists. And they most certainly have not spoken about picking people up from rubber boats in the Mediterranean Sea and sending them to European harbors and not to North African harbors. That there is absolutely no line in the Human Rights Declaration that says anything that has anything to do with what Ms. Rackete has done. The Human Rights Declaration does not justify breaking of the law for the sake of it. There are just some unalienable rights that no king, no power elites can limit. That is your freedom to speech, your freedom to assembly, that's your freedom of a public and fair trial, something Tommy Robinson does not get, and so on. It is most certainly not about whatever fancy the left has at a given point in time. So that was it for today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.